Joker is the latest comic book adaptation of the Batman villain, and it is an attempt at showing where the clown prince of crime really came from. When I first heard that this movie was being made, I was a little upset about it. I wasn't really sure that we needed to know where this character came from, but once I heard that Joaquin Phoenix had signed on, he's such a great actor that you just have to think this has to be something special if he's willing to step into a genre movie like this, which he hardly ever does. By telling an origin story, I was really afraid that they were going to strip Joker of what made him so unique and scary, which was that he was an unpredictable villain, that you didn't know where he came from, you didn't know why he was doing these things, he just liked causing chaos, and that's just next level, and you don't know how to stop that. And while Joaquin Phoenix signing on was a great sign, my major worry for the film was Todd Phillips directing this movie, because in the past he's just really done comedic stuff, and The Hangover is a great comedy, but how would a guy that made a great comedy be able to tell such a deep and dark storyline like the origin story of a killer like the Joker? But I have got to say, Todd Phillips did an incredible job. I don't know where this new trend is coming from, where comedic people are making great suspenseful thriller movies like Jordan Peele or John Krasinski with his last movie, and now we have Todd Phillips, who made this incredible character piece about a villain, and it's amazing, and it's suspenseful, and it's very believable. At a time early in its pitch process of this movie, you heard rumblings of Scorsese might be involved in this movie as either directing or maybe producing it, but he later dropped out of it. But Todd Phillips picked it up, and it's very clear when you watch the movie that he took inspiration from a lot of Scorsese's early works, such as Taxi Driver and especially The King of Comedy. If you haven't seen Taxi Driver or The King of Comedy, I do urge you to maybe watch them before or maybe right after you see Joker, because it is pretty cool to see what Todd Phillips was able to do with taking inspirations from both movies and implementing them into this movie. It was also really interesting to see, if you have seen The King of Comedy, Robert De Niro as the talk show host, because it just kind of turns The King of Comedy around on its head, and it was actually pretty humorous to see. Joaquin Phoenix in this movie, he is amazing, and you kind of knew he would be. He's very method. He lost 52 pounds in preparation for this role. He studied people with laughing disorders or involuntary crying disorders, from what I've read, and he nails it. The Joker's laugh in this movie it's very tense. It makes you uneasy when you watch it. It's very uncomfortable to watch, and I think that's something that we really have not seen in previous Batman movies or iterations of the Joker. His laugh is always joyous, but it takes on a level of emotion in this movie. You feel sorry when he's laughing, but it is a wonderful progression throughout the story watching him. Something else that I think Joaquin really accomplishes in this movie is the unpredictability of the Joker. You never know what he's gonna do. He grounded him in humanity in a way that past actors haven't quite been able to do, but he is, without a doubt, 100% committed, and it is a joy to watch. Another one of the great successes of this movie is the setting. We've seen Gotham City, but never in this light. 1980s Gotham City, it is a living, breathing character in the movie. It is very gritty and dark and bleak, and it was also interesting seeing Thomas Wayne throughout the movie instead of Bruce Wayne immediately. Bruce Wayne has no role in this movie. Do not go in thinking that you're going to see glimpses of Batman or anything. This is all Joker. This movie, in some ways, it's so grounded that you forget that it has any comic book ties, which is a special take on a comic book property in this day and age, because while I love the big grand spectacle of, say, a Marvel movie or even a DC EU movie, there is something very special and unique about a ground level, one character piece that just follows one guy through a through line, and that's it. It's very on the ground, and no huge action pieces or anything, just a character study at its greatest level. It's a very slow burn movie, which is great because you don't get movies like this anymore. Like, you know who the Joker is, but you don't know where he came from. And while this movie does take tiny inspirations from The Killing Joke and maybe a little bit from The Dark Knight Returns, it's only little samples, little ideas. The whole movie is constructed on a brand new idea, so you really don't know where they're gonna take it, which is really exciting and something new. Usually you can just predict how something's gonna go down, and you really can't in this movie. We've never seen him this early on, and that was a great original take on the character. And this is a slow burn movie. Tension builds every moment of every scene. And all the side characters, all the other actors and everything, they're great, but they're really hardly in the movie. This is a very Joker-centric. It follows Arthur Fleck, Joaquin Phoenix's character, from the very first scene. You can just tell that, oh man, this guy's had a life. It takes like the Killing Joke's thing of one bad day, just one bad day, but this just kind of expands on that. No, not just one bad day, one bad life. And it's all culminated in this part of his life. I only really have one negative with this movie, and it's not even a negative. I shouldn't even talk about it, but I will say it is a true bummer because the way this movie ends, you just want more. I could have watched another 3 hours of this and just want to see where it went from there, because we know who the Joker is, and when it ends, I mean, he gets to that point of being the Joker, but it's still a young version of Joker, and I wanted to see Joaquin Phoenix's take transform into the Batman villain Joker, and we will never see that, unfortunately, but that's okay, because we get sequels and cinematic universes all the time, and it's very special to be able to say that we are getting a one-off movie, because we hardly ever see that anymore. And so I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad that this movie exists, and I can't believe it exists. I didn't even want the thing, but now it's here, and it's amazing. So I'm gonna have to give this movie, Joker, 5 out of 5 stars. It is that good, guys. If you like slow burns, and you like character studies, and you like comic book movies, and if you're a Joker fan, you have to go see this movie. It's special. Joaquin Phoenix is going to get nominated for Best Actor. If he doesn't, it's a crime against humanity. And if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me in the comments below, who's your favorite Joker of all time? Is it Joaquin Phoenix, Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero, any of them? Mine's still Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger, to me, he's perfect. And Joaquin Phoenix is a very different take, but Heath Ledger is still in my opinion, the undisputed Joker. And I can't wait to see who takes on the role next. I love it.